Hello, Internet. My name's Tyler Cuddeback. Welcome to College Concepts. Let's just get into the video. If I seem a little off, you'll soon understand why. I had a pretty good weekend. I did. I saw Avengers Endgame. That's an amazing movie. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Hashtag don't spoil the endgame. I played some video games. I didn't get measles. I did some meal prep. I cleaned my house. I didn't get hepatitis. I called my grandmother. I didn't get polio. It was a pretty good weekend. And then I woke up. I turned on my phone. I opened up YouTube. And I saw this.
And finally, in headlines, there are now more than 700 reported cases of measles in the United States, the most in 25 years. It showed up in churches, schools, movie theaters, and now it's going on vacation.
The cruise ship on the Caribbean island of St. Lucia is ordered to remain docked and quarantined.
700 cases in a country where the disease had been eradicated for nearly 20 years. When I first heard about the whole anti-vaxxer movement, I was just like, all right, fine, let them do whatever. You know, we have 7 billion people on this planet. We can do with thinning the herd. If they want to intentionally get diseases, let them. It's not my problem. Except now I'm starting to realize that it is. The video that I had planned for today, I was shooting at the Boys and Girls Club in Shadyside in Pittsburgh. And when I drove home, I was actually going to a friend's house afterward in my old apartment building, actually. And I saw TV news crews. And when I got to my friend's house, they turned on the TV and showed me this.
Measles is actually floats in the air, and you can get sick across the room.
That, doctors say, is what makes measles so dangerous, and the reason that the Allegheny County Health Department is warning those who are not vaccinated that they may have been exposed inside this giant eagle on Center Avenue or inside Aldi on Baum Boulevard, even if they never saw the one person who officials say was inside sick.
It's highly contagious. It's highly possible if you're in the same room with someone who has the measles that you would be at risk of getting sick.
And Dr. David Wolfson, medical director of Children's Community Pediatrics, says those with measles can be contagious for up to 4 days before symptoms are seen. So to help those who were inside those stores determine if they were exposed to measles, the health department has narrowed down the times that exposure was possible. They say those inside Shadyside Giant Eagle on Friday, April 26th between 6:30 p.m. and 9 p.m.
You see this circle here? That's my apartment building. I'm in that building as they're shooting this video. So now, in a matter of like 4 days, I've seen 2 videos about measles outbreaks near me. This is not going to be a listicle video, like I said. This is going to be commentary. This is going to be a rant. And this is also going to be some context about the college admissions process and how we handle vaccinations. Because the title says it all. If you don't vaccinate your kids, they will not go to college. In order to go to college, you need to have certain vaccinations. You need to have your hepatitis A, B, and C. You have to have your boosters for your MMR vaccine. You have to have a bunch of other boosters from vaccines that you got as a kid. You have to make sure that you have your HPV vaccine. You have to have a variety of other things. But you also have to have health insurance. Colleges will actually supply you with health insurance so you can get all these vaccines when you get on campus. And when I first heard about this, I was like, whoa, why? Is it really just as a way to shame anti-vaxxers? But no, it's to provide herd immunity for people like this.
If you're thinking, well, you know, that is a chance that I'm willing to take, and I'm just making this choice for my child, the thing is, you're not. You're putting at risk kids like Rhett Crowett. He was diagnosed with leukemia at age 2, and his immune system was weakened so much he couldn't be vaccinated, meaning if he picked up a serious disease, it could be fatal. And I'll let his mom take it from here.
When he was first diagnosed, he was pretty much pulled out of society. We avoided highly concentrated groups of people. When we went out, we wore a mask. I mean, we really did limit his exposure. And we just were so excited for the day when he could start kindergarten so he could have that sense of socialization and community and learning.
A year into remission and back in school, Rhett will soon be healthy enough to be fully vaccinated. But until then, his life...
So there's a pretty good reason why we vaccinate people. You can't have somebody who's sick or has leukemia or has some other disease that keeps their immune system down or is on some kind of medication that keeps their immune system down. You can't have them take a vaccine because it can kill them. So they rely on the rest of us to be vaccinated. And now we're not. And see, you may be sitting here, well, colleges are just going to have to get on board because that's what the public schools are doing. Well, yeah, they are kind of getting on board with the whole anti-vaxxer movement. But there's a really important reason why. Anti-vaxxers are some of the loudest, most annoying political advocates on the planet. And public schools are funded by state and local governments. So they're not going to say you have to get vaccinated because that is technically an infringement on your rights. They're going to turn around and say, don't come to school today. Or don't come to school for the next week because there's been an outbreak and you are likely to die if you catch this disease. And the reason that they allow something like that to happen is because it is a political entity. Public schools are run by a board of educators. They receive funding from state and local and municipal governments. And all of the people that supply that funding have to get reelected. And if anti-vaxxers are trying to bang down their door and yell at them about how they don't want their kids to have to get vaccinated, then the government is going to allow them to have some kind of out because they want to get reelected. And if you go online and you start researching, will colleges let my kid go to school if they're not vaccinated, one of the first search results is this website, the National Vaccine Information Center. And you'll see an article called College Bound Navigating Vaccine Choices, written by the executive director of the National Vaccine Information Center. Do you notice how she doesn't have a PhD or a doctor or an MD anywhere near her name? It's because she's not one. It's because she's not a reliable source. She's not a researcher. She's not a medical professional. She's a dipshit with a website. This is usually the part of the video where I would stop and say like, hey, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. I'm not even gonna do that because I'm so friggin' angry. And honestly, this topic is important enough that I'm not gonna break it up with that kind of crap. Look, I try not to get political on these videos. I really do. I think as an academic, it's pretty clear where my political slants and biases lie. So I'm just gonna say this. If you are a talking head on television, and you are talking about vaccines as though they are a conspiracy, you probably also agree with the idea that America is, or at least should be, the greatest country on earth. There's a reason that we call the president the leader of the free world. It's because they are in charge of the country that sets the example. We are the shining city on a hill. And then we have stuff like this. 700 cases of measles in a country where it had been eradicated for nearly 20 years. Children being endangered for the simple act of going to the grocery store. high schools and school districts capitulating to parents that are endangering not only their own children, but the children of others, just so they can get reelected. This is not okay. This is not something that's funny anymore. This is not something that we can just joke about and be like, they'll off themselves in time. Because we're actually putting in danger real people with real medical issues by not vaccinating our own kids. And when it comes to going to college and being able to receive a college education, which is now basically necessary to have any kind of future, whether it's a job that you want, a salary that you need, being able to have some kind of financial security, you're going to need a degree. And you're not going to be able to get one if you don't get vaccinated. And you might say, well, I'll just get my degree online. I don't have to go to a campus. I don't have to endanger anybody else. I don't want to get whatever made-up disease you think you're going to get by taking some vaccination that's actually going to save your life from a real disease. But here's the thing. You still have to get vaccinated, because not all of those online programs are 100% online. Some of these programs actually require that you come in to a satellite office or a remote office to give a presentation, to handle paperwork, to meet with a professor, to do group projects, or a variety of other things. Sometimes it's not 100% online. And that's not even for quote-unquote hybrid courses. Those are for actual full online courses. So, in order for them to receive federal aid, like the Pell Grants, or Stafford loans, or work study, or a variety of other things that you get through the FAFSA, you're gonna have to get vaccinated. So you might as well do it now with a kid when they're supposed to get vaccinated, so they don't spend the first 18 to 20 years of their life not only risking death, but also endangering others. This entire discussion is absolutely insane. If we're supposed to be, and look, I understand that some of my viewers are international and they're probably looking at me like, wow, what another imperialist American pig. And you know what? Sure, I can understand some hesitation, but do you really want Russia or China, because they're the next two candidates, to be the ones that run the world? No. You have a country that has executed journalists and homosexuals just because they don't like them, and another authoritarian country that is deliberately imprisoning and censoring their own people. We may have some intrinsic problems here in America, sure. I wouldn't be making this video if we didn't. But at the end of the day, we're way better than some of the other options. We are the greatest country on earth. We need to start acting like it. Well, now that the video's done, I will say, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, make sure to get your friggin' kids vaccinated, and good luck not getting diseases. Jesus.